Hello again, welcome to the food edition. So today I'm making what's called a pizza roll, which is a pizza. You put the ingredients and then you roll it over. So it's easy to slice after. So it's gonna be, the dough was prepared yesterday with a recipe from this book, Better Homes, new cookbook. I use this recipe over and over again, page 336, pizza. It tells you how to make the dough. So it's a classic in our house. And then what makes this special, we're gonna do a balsamic reduction with sugar and balsamic vinegar. Then we're gonna chop up and saute. We got some olive oil, we got dried figs, we got onions, we got a bit of shallot left over, we got a bit of garlic and a bit of Italian mix herbs. And then finally, once that's done, we're gonna top it with ricotta, with Parmesan slices, or you can get a Parmesan brick and slice and shred it, do shreds of Parmesan as you wish. You can use, I try to go more light. So, I mean, there's Romano Lupa, which is very strong, or Romano Pecorino. I remember learning that when I used to go to Berkici. And then there's a prosciutto. I took two kinds of prosciutto just to kind of blend and not just mix both, but good brands. And that's it. So 2 cloves of garlic slightly diced. Garlic's done, so now I'm gonna do a bit of this. Use a bit of shallots because I have a bit of leftover. Also a tip, I always like to keep the elastics because you never know, we can use them to wrap foods or close frozen foods or whatever. So I keep a bin of that. Here we go, the shallots are cut. Now we're gonna move ahead to the onions. So if you look at the ball I made is about 1.25, 1.5 times the recipe from the cookbook. So as a function of that, I'm gonna put about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 onions that I'm gonna dice up. So this is the onions I've got. These are the onions I've got. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like a leftover half that I cleaned up a little bit. It's all fresh. So now it's dicing time. When you're cutting, you use the nail as a way of guiding you so you don't get cut. So the onions are all chopped up. This is all ready, and now the next step is gonna be taking the figs and chopping them up. And then all of this is gonna get sauteed with some olive oil and maybe some Italian spices, or you can go oregano, basil. I'm gonna clear my my cutting board, and I'm gonna shove it all inside the pan so that I can make space for the figs. So there we go. All of this is in the frying pan, and now I go back to cutting the figs. Break them up and then get ready to chop. As you see, I started chopping them. This is just the beginning. I'm gonna chop it up to get a little bit smaller so that it blends in with the onions, and it's, when you spread it out, the flavors are spread and evenly spread. So this is about what the end result of the chopped figs look like. I didn't go too small. I chopped it once and then maybe another time, just so that it's small enough that it blends in with the onions, but it's big enough that you can taste the texture when you're eating it in the pizza roll. I also want to show you this. This is a moment of potential rebalancing. You see the volume of onion I have compared to the volume of fig. Personally, for me, I would have wanted to have like a 50-60% mixture to percentage of fig. So I might go back and chop another onion just to make this grow a bit and have this a bit bigger than this. Because otherwise the sweet of this is going to overtake. Put it in the frying pan like I did right now, you can see exactly what I mean. See the volume of this versus the volume of that. So I'm gonna go for a little bit more of this. So I have one more small medium red onion, and that's what I chopped up, and that's what I'm gonna add. This is what it looks like. Now I'm gonna put some olive oil before I start. I'm gonna put like 1, 2, 3 dabs, enough like this so that it gets wet, enough that it gets wet. I'm not gonna put any salt because I really want this to be a natural thing. I'm putting this mixed herb thing. I'm putting just a bit at the top so that you have it, but not enough that it overpowers it. And that's it. And now it's gonna be a slow cook. I'm probably gonna go somewhere around 3 or 4 on the oven. So even though I'm going slow, I wanted to speed up a little bit. So I put it at around 4, maybe just a little bit under 4. I put a top on it so that what's gonna happen is the heat is not just gonna escape and cook the bottom. It's gonna give time for the whole thing to grab and collect that heat. And then slowly, bit by bit, I'll remove the top and put it back, such as to either maybe or maybe not, I'm gonna drain the water, I'll see. The other thing about this mixture that's kind of cool is that once this is done, let's say you have leftover, you can actually take this and use this like a spread on a toast. Just lightly toast something and just throw this on top, and it's fantastic. So while this is happening, I don't want to waste time, so I'm gonna start putting some balsamic vinegar on. Once again, I'm just kind of winging it. I'm gonna go to about, let's say, maybe, because this is gonna get reduced by about half. So it's okay that you put and let it go maybe about three to four fingers in height, because then it's going to become half. So I'm just dunking it down. I'm just using it all up. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so in reality, I did maybe about, let's say, 2 fingers worth of height. And then I'm going to put some sugar. Here on the stove, I'm going for somewhere between 6 and 8. That's okay. Not more than 8. 6, 7 is good. I'm making a joke, 6, 7. That would be a joke that Hani at work would like, or Jacob would remember. So here, this is not enough sugar. So here we have a measuring spoon. This is, we haven't seen close enough, 1 tablespoon. So I'm gonna go with, I think I'm gonna start with like 1, 2, 3 tablespoons. Start with 3 tablespoons. Not too much, because then it becomes too sweet and you already have the sweet of the fig. But just enough that the balsamic changes flavor a little bit. So 3 for about 2 hands, that's good. Maybe I might even go, I'm gonna put just a touch more. I'm gonna go like another little half, 3.5. I'm gonna keep the tablespoon on the side handy, just in case when I go to taste the balsamic, if I see I need a little bit more. And I hear from the sound that this is starting to pick up a little bit of heat. I don't feel it at the top. And this guy not even, so there's still a bit of time. So I'm gonna use this wooden spoon to turn. I don't know if you see this. Oh my God, I remember when I was a kid, they would have on the wall like the spoon and the fork. And then sometimes even if you're from I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but in our Italian background, we had sometimes our parents coming after us with the spoon or with the fork to hit us if we were not paying attention or being good kids. I raised this up to 5, but I think I don't really want to go above 5. You can hear the noise. I felt the top of the lid. It was starting to get a bit warm. So now it's time to start turning this around. So this is what it looks like as it's starting to mix. I'm hearing the noise. You hear it too. It's starting to simmer a little bit. I'm still keeping it around 5. I'm going to put the lid back on. I'm not completely sure, but I think that if I'm not mistaken, there are vitamins that are water soluble, which means it's embedded in the water. So that's part of my logic or thinking with trying to keep some of the water in there. Some of it will evaporate fine, but I will try to keep some in the hopes that I'm preserving some of the nutrient content. So this is starting to get a little warm, so I'm going to take the opportunity to turn it. I'm not going to wait until it boils, because then it might be too late and it might burn. I'm going to stir it lightly. Then I'm probably going to wait until it starts to get close to the boiling point, and then I'll do a bit of leaving it open so that it starts to get thicker. And then you have to wait. Basically, you keep doing this. You check the flavor, and then you keep it going until you get the right thickness. Like this should be, like right now it's watery. It should be a bit more syrupy, a bit more thick, like a sauce, because it's going to be a sauce. So I was a pizzaiolo for a long time, for about 7-8 years, and it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I got to learn all kinds of different pizzas and different flavors I would have never combined together, like broccoli sausage, spinach sausage, potatoes and onions with ricotta and parmesan on a garlic base. There were all kinds of crazy pizzas I learned. It was a fantastic experience. I'm very grateful for it, on top of the fact of meeting really good people. So we look at this, we see that the sauce is starting to get close to the point where it wants to start boiling. We see the steam rising, we see the water coming to the edges. So pretty soon it's going to be time to be lid off. Even this one, it's starting to take the heat. So I'll open it up again, stir it again, close it up again. As you're doing this, you hear the simmering, and you can tell that you can smell the onions that are starting to take shape. So keep going. And you can see when you look at the bottom, there's a bit of bubbling. So it means it's not too dry. If it was too dry, then I see there's a bit of wetness in there. If it's too dry, you add a bit of olive oil to taste. I'm more of a saucy guy. I like it a bit more wet, so I tend to go more in that direction. But there are other people that may like dry, so you might like less. So here we have, it's starting to boil. So I'm going to lower the temp a little bit. I'm going to go down to about 6, and now I'm just going to start letting it. I'm just going to start letting it boil out, and then get this thicker. So this is starting to simmer. It's been 151. It's been at least about 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. This has been going, and as you see, the onions are not, they're getting kind of like clear, transparent. That's what you want to get to, and you want to get to that, once again, with a low heat, because if you go too fast, you're going to burn it. So once again, I'll keep doing this with the heat covered to keep it from burning. This has the lid on, but it's open, so it's starting to boil. It's gonna start to get thicker. We'll see how much longer we gotta go on this. So far, I've been at it about 8 minutes. I'm going back up to about 8. I'm gonna keep going like that, so I can keep this boiling and get this reduced. This I'm probably gonna wait to go to about, it's 53. I'm probably gonna wait to go to about 55, so about 12 to 15 minutes. I do see that there's an onion right there that's a little bit brown, so that's my telltale sign that it's time for me to stop on this. So this gets put to the side. So that's it. Now I'm just gonna let this, without the lid, I'm just gonna let it cool off, because when we're spreading on the pizza, we want it to be as cold as possible. Now we're back to this. Still too thick. I'm gonna try and go for more heat. So I'm gonna add in another half a tablespoon. So now this is about 10-12 minutes in. It's getting simmered, it's getting reduced. Now would be a good time. It's about halfway to maybe 3/4 of the way to take a small teaspoon and just taste to see that you have the right sweetness or the right texture. So here I'm gonna try this right now. So I definitely taste the sweetness. I still have a bit of acidity. So for me, if I still have a bit of acidity, I think it's a sign that I still need to go. It's 12:03, so I probably figure at least another 7 minutes or so to get rid of more of the acidity. Or I can also try to add a little bit of sugar. I'm gonna maybe add just a bit more sugar. So here I go, I'm gonna go with another, make sure it comes out to another tablespoon. So now I'm up to 5 tablespoons for two fingers of a pot. I'm up to about 5 tablespoons. If I wanted to, I could also try to thicken it up with a bit of flour, like just a touch of flour. I heard that kind of works, but I'm not gonna go there. So yes, I could try to go faster, put more heat and this and that, but at the same time, the ingredients are very expensive. I mean, balsamic vinegar, prosciutto, the figs, the ricotta, the parmesan. So I prefer to take a bit more time and not mess up the recipe. So while we're waiting for the balsamic, now's a good time to wipe and prepare to put some flour, because we're gonna do the dough. We're gonna spread the dough. This is starting to get thick. It's at 12:08, so maybe a few more minutes. I got my countertop full of flour because I'm gonna spread the dough on this and make it as wide as I can, and then I'm gonna put everything together. So we're seeing it's getting thicker and thicker. This is about getting to a good spot. I think this is the right thickness. So in reality, I started with 2 fingers and now I'm about 1 finger. I'm about half to a third of the original volume. I'd probably say about half, but I'm gonna go a little bit more because I'm seeing the thickness is coming out right. The timing, looks like the timing is about 25 minutes or so. 25 minutes at a high. 25 minutes at a high. And like I said, I had started the beginning with this closed. Yeah, so we're at about 25. I got the right thickness. I'm gonna try. I got my little spoon here with a little bit on it. Yeah, this is perfect. We stop right now. So this is it. This is the flavor that I wanted. It's sweetness, there's no acidity. I went 25 minutes. I probably could have cut maybe about 2 minutes off of that. So I'm starting with about half of the ball. I took half of the ball out. And now I may flour my hands a little bit just so that it's easier to spread out, and I'm gonna spread it out. So one thing I wanna point out is the art of stretching dough. So some people think, oh, push hard and all that. No, stretching dough is kind of like a movement like this, kind of like you're walking, but like back to front. And as you do it, you spread and you do it lightly and you keep going around. And that's how you do it. And there's such a thing called stressing the dough. So if you go too hard at it, you're gonna stress the dough and it's just gonna pull back, and then you're gonna lose the ability to stretch it anymore. You can also take it and put it under your hands and lightly move it around, and you feel as it's starting to get lighter, but not too much that you start getting holes. And then you put it back down and you start stretching again, and it's lighter. You can also kind of hold. I'm gonna try and do this holding it on my chin. You can push and use your other hand to just slightly pull. Right here, I'll kind of see. No, I can't do it. I can't show it. Sorry. You just kind of. Here, I'll see if I can. You hold and then you push slightly in parallel. You do it together in a synchronized motion. That's not going to stress the dough. So this is about right. This is about as thick as I'm going to get it. You start seeing areas where it's light like this. You don't want to go any more because look, you're going to start getting holes over there and so on. So this is about the right thickness. I don't know if I could go as a cross section. You see it. It's very thin. It's, if I had to put a number on it, I'd say somewhere around let's say about 2-3 millimeters thick. 2-3 millimeters thick is a good number. Yeah, I don't know if you get 2-3 millimeters, if you could measure it, but it's something somewhere around there. 2-3 millimeters. You could go up to about like a 3 millimeters, but if you start going more than that, then when you roll it over, when you roll it over, it's going to get very doughy, and you're not going to be able to have the balance between the ingredients and the dough and everything. So now I'm going to grab the balsamic. And as you see, it comes off like a syrup, so that's exactly what you want. And I'm trying to do just enough that I can see, like you don't want it too much, but just enough that it's there. So I'm going like this. Because once you blend this in with the ingredients, and also because I want to have enough to have for another half, because I have enough to make 2 balls. So I want to have enough for 2 balls. So I'm trying to balance out between what I've got and what I'd like to do. So I think I'll stop at this. There's enough distance. And also you'll notice I'm keeping about, I'd say I'm probably keeping about, maybe about 3/4 of an inch all around. Because you're going to need that, because once you roll it over, you want it to stick. If there's too much sauce and stuff, it's just going to splurge out and it's not going to stick. So as you can see, I went about halfway. This is about halfway on the pizza roll. And now it's time to start doing the prosciutto, the parmesan, the ricotta. It would also be a good time to go to your trusty oven. Go to 400, preheat to about 400. Because then once this is ready, you're probably going to shove it in for about 20-25 minutes. You're just gonna see when the top crust gets lightly browned. So this is the prosciutto. Now I'm gonna take it with the scissors and I'm gonna slice it probably about 1/3 or 1/4. And then I'm gonna use a mix of the two, the San Daniele and the Marcangelo. Of course, there's my trusty Bailey over here. He smells it. He smells the prosciutto. Bailey, sit. And there you go. Of course, now I'm cutting this one, and Bailey's still here. Let's see if we can make him do another trick. Bailey, get up. Get up. There you go. That's it. It's about halfway. And just for reference, how many grams of prosciutto was this? This was 100. It was 100 of San Daniele, and I think it was 200. It was the family size. It was 175 of the Marcangelo. So 275 grams. For a ball with about 3.5 cups of flour in it. Next on the list, the Parmesan flakes. So I'm gonna go by hand and just sprinkle out. There we go. I'm trying to go for about half, or a little bit less than half. Too much is gonna be too much. You want to have just enough texture there. So this is about right. Enough that you can see the flakes, but not enough that they're overpowering, because then you're going to balance it with the ricotta. So now I purposely grabbed a small spoon, not a big spoon, because I want to be able to put little chunks. And that's it. I'm grabbing it. I'm putting little chunks all around, complementing the prosciutto, the Parmesan that's there. And This is about the right kind of balance that I'm trying to achieve. Like I showed you before, you see it, but it's not overpowering, and in the end, it's gonna balance out with the Parmesan that's there. You got the fresh, which replaced from the walnuts. I replaced the fresh of the walnuts with like the fresh mild of the ricotta. So this is it. So I'm gonna stop because I think I went even a little bit more than half. So I might pull some back in. I wanna go half and half, really keep it evenly divided. So I got myself a pan ready. I got myself a pan with a non-stick silicone cover. This, by the way, they sell them, I think, regular at the Canadian Tire at about $10. Saves you buying parchment paper over and over again. So we have about 3 of these. We keep these handy with us. Very good, better for the environment, and non-stick. I added a bit of flour. I could have added a bit of oil, but I decided to add flour. And now's the moment of truth. In lean, moment of truth is when there's a positive or negative experience of the customer. In this case, I'm hoping it's going to be a positive experience. So I'm just going to start showing carefully. I don't know if I can do it one hand. I'm going to do it there. You slowly roll it over like so, and you just keep rolling. And the flour that was under, so you got absorbed. And see, there's none left. There was flour at the beginning. There's none right now. So I'm going to keep rolling, and I'll show you when it's finished. Holding the dough is obviously something that works better with both hands because you can do it evenly instead of you're pulling one side and the other side and it gets lopsided and so on. So this is it. This is the pizza roll. Obviously it's bigger than the pan, so I'm gonna fit it, and then I'm gonna size it and stretch it out so that it fits within the size of the pan. If not, the other thing I could have done is I could have cut it in half and put like a few of them. That's another option. So that's it. It went from here to there. Obviously, you prep it, you fold over if there's any stuff sticking out on the two sides, and then you prepare to do it in one quick move. You take with 2 hands, you lift, and you shove it on. You have to be very quick and light to the hands with that, not too rough. And then once you do that, you can kind of squeeze and tuck it in like I did over here. You see it's chunkier than when it was over here. And now I'm gonna do the second one. I'm gonna do that one on my own, and then the next time you see this, you're gonna see it come out of the oven. So nobody's perfect, myself included. So here you go, I made a bubble. What do you do in this case? You take it and you stretch it over again, and then you re-push it down. You remake the seam. You remake the seam, and then you can stretch out again some more. Second dough stretched out. Another boo-boo. The sauce became way too sticky, it dried up. So what did I do? I threw in some water. I'm gonna reheat it, I'm gonna rehydrate it, and hopefully get it back to the right texture. Probably gonna do in the meantime is I'm gonna go opposite. I'm gonna put this down first and do everything else, and the sauce is gonna be last. Okay, so back to rehydrating this. I added some water. I think I'm just gonna go low. I'm gonna lower the temp a bit and just keep mixing because I added just enough. If ever, this is not so bad. If ever you add too much water, you just re-go again to get the right consistency. So see, here I'm getting a good, this is a good consistency. So I think I'm just gonna go maybe another minute or two. In the end, it wasn't that long. It was just like what? You know, you're gonna spend 3 to 5 minutes to repair this. So I also added in a touch of the original balsamic just to get a bit of acidity back. Okay, it's perfect. So that was like 3 minutes, maybe about maybe about a tablespoon or teaspoon to a tablespoon of balsamic, and then I added maybe about 2 tablespoons of water, 2 to 3, to bring it back. There you go, recipe back on track, and now we're gonna go again with the prosciutto, the parmesan, and the ricotta. Bailey, obviously, he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants. He's right here. Take the camera. Yeah, he's right there. He knows what he wants. He wants a piece of prosciutto. And a good dog, so he's been a good dog. So Bailey, look. Woo! There you go. So the prosciutto is on, and now it's cheese time. So forget what I said. I'm gonna go back down to 350, and the reason why is because I was thinking about it. This is pretty thick, and there's lots of rolls. If you go too hot, the middle, the inside is gonna still be wet. The dough's not gonna be cooked, and you're gonna get the outside that's cooked. So I'd rather go a little slower and have it cook more evenly. This is the next one. Bailey, you've been a good boy. You get some leftover ricotta. Have some fun. If when you're doing this, you see that it tears up a little bit like this and you're midway, don't worry about it because you've got the whole thickness after that's gonna make up for it. Other options, if you want, you could baste the top with egg yolk. I'm gonna leave it as is. I did end up cutting the second one because it would have been way too fat. I'm trying to stick at around let's say 2.5 inches of diameter. Somewhere around 2.5 inches is a good number. So 2.5 inches is about, let's say like, yeah, like 4 fingers, 3 to 4 fingers. And then it's oven time. So we're at the halfway mark, and you see it's starting to become solid, but it's still very white. So it's ready to pull out. So this is 25 minutes. I could have probably gone another 5 minutes, or just leave it like this, and then the crust is hard, so it's good. Maybe if to reheat is another 5 to 10 minutes at 350, and that's it. Thank you.